Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel. I'm going to be doing a League Cup report in today's video because I just got back from winning my 4th League Cup today. Yes, I finally got all 4 League Cup wins out of the way. I don't have to go to any more League Cups, which feels really good. Then I got to do challenges, which honestly I think I'd rather do cups and challenges, but it is what it is. But we got our 4th dub today, actually at the store that I won the 2nd League Cup at, which was kind of cool. So I'm the reigning champion there. But yes, I played Lost Box today, mainly because ever since I did good at Louisville, it kind of reignited my wants and desires to play this deck. I'm a big fan of Lost Box, and I'm really happy that I played the deck. I've basically been playing it all weekend. I went to 3 tournaments this weekend with Lost Box, trying to get some games in with it and just test it a bit. Friday, I went to my locals, didn't play Tomb. I played a Raikou V instead in the list. And I went 3-3, didn't do great. All my losses were just because I literally had bad starts. But every win was because I got to play the game. And then I went to a cup yesterday with the same deck, same 60 yesterday to another cup. I went 3-1, and I was on the winning end. And then I hit a Gardevoir deck, and they went Iono Fluttermane, and the Iono gave me like a bunch of unplayable cards. And then I basically just sat there while they just kind of hit me with Fluttermane for like 5 turns. I couldn't win the game basically. Like I just couldn't do anything. I don't play bundle in the deck because nobody plays like Fluttermane right now. So I didn't bother teching the bundle. So I was like, okay, you know what? I fumbled a cup with Lost Box. I got to the win and in. Well, now what are we gonna do, man? I need either win a cup or I need to get finals in a cup, and then I'm probably just done doing cups because I got top 4 in a cup. It was like 2 weekends ago, top 4 a cup with Goldengo. I needed one more win or 1 finals, so I went to a cup today. And you know, it was cool. One of the main reasons I wanted to actually go to this store was because they have a ton of retro cards for sale, and I'm trying to build retro decks. I want to do retro content on this channel or whatever, or even make a 3rd channel, whatever. Anyways, I'm trying to make retro content, so I wanted to go to the store to get retro cards and stuff. So I was like, I didn't really know what to play. Honestly, I was kind of checked out today. I was like, I didn't really know what I wanted to play. I was gonna play Goldengo, and when I got there, I saw there was a lot of like Miraidon and stuff, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run it back with Lost Box one more time. I knew a couple of my friends who were going were like playing Drago, but they actually weren't playing Drago for this tournament exactly, which was good for me. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna run back Lost Box again. If I do well, I do well. I want to go to the store to like get a bunch of good retro cards for my retro decks. If I do well in the cup, whatever it is, what it is. And that's what happened. I ended up winning the cup anyways. So yeah, I played Lost Box with the Moon. I'm not playing the Hands Blood Moon package or like with Zapdos / Raikou. I like Roaring Moon because it just makes your matchup into like Charizard and Dragapult a lot better. Moon's also pretty good into like Raging Bolt, I found. There were actually many times this tournament where I needed Moon to bail me out of like just KOing the active. Just having the Frenzy Gouge option is really good. I don't know how optimal Moon really is. It might just be better to play like a Raikou or a Zapdos, just like a Pokemon that can just attack your opponent efficiently, because Hands needs a lot of gate. Moon does need at least 1 gate and 1 energy, but I think it's fine. I think the Moon's still really good, and I mean, I did play against Charizard in this tournament, and it did end up being very helpful in that matchup. Now, the Tomb Manaphy is really good. Tomb, I think, is very strong right now. Really good against Lugia, and obviously really good against Charizard and Dragapult, and really good against Stall. I mean, when you have Moon and Spiritomb, you kind of have a good matchup into Snorlax. And then, finally, the Manaphy. A lot of decks are not playing Manaphy right now, which is good for this deck. Obviously, you can go like Turbo Greninja. I am playing 3 Vacuum, 3 Stop, because I'm trying to be as turbo as I can without playing 4 Stop, which I don't think was necessary. So I added the Manaphy into the deck. I think Manaphy is really good. It's good into Palkia Dusknoir, because it actually forces them to have to commit a Dusknoir to your Manaphy, which can be relevant. Manaphy is also really good into the Mirror. It's just good in general. I think having Manaphy in the deck, honestly, was very helpful this weekend. Might be like a random Lugia deck with like an Ogerpon, like a Wellspring Ogerpon. So I'm like, all right, we're going to put a Manaphy in the deck. Manaphy ended up being very good in the deck. I mean, even in the other tournaments I played in, having Manaphy was very helpful to have in the deck. And again, I swapped the Spiritomb with the Raikou. I didn't like Raikou. I mean, Raikou's not bad. It's like good at killing Pidgeot and stuff, and Lugia. Yeah, I mean, Tomb Raikou makes your Lugia matchup stronger, but I didn't really want the Raikou in the deck. I was like, I'm just going to cut the Raikou, play the Tomb instead. And that's the list. I mean, pretty standard Lost Zone list outside of that. I am going to say this. The one of Night Stretcher is gas. This card was a very crucial card in winning most of my matches in this cup. Night Stretcher is very, very good. And also, the triple stop 3 Vacuum feels really clean too. I see a lot of lists playing 2 Vacuum. I think 3 is very important because 1, you need it for Raging Bolt, and 2, it's just really good to have Vacuum when you're trying to get turn 1 / turn 2 in the 7, right? So it's like really good to have the triple Vac in my opinion. And that's the list I played. Like I said, pretty good stuff. We'll get into the Cup term report here. I don't really have a way to like show how the tournament went. So I just opened up an online notepad and wrote stuff down. So round 1, I ended up playing against Charizard. Sent my friend on Charizard. I thought he was going to be playing Regidrago for this tournament, but he wasn't, and he was playing Charizard because, like, obviously Drago's like it's a pretty bad matchup. Manaphy Moon does make the Drago matchup slightly more winnable, but not by much. But he was playing Charizard, and I ended up winning the game because he had a crucial turn where he stamped me into the Colress, and then I snowballed from there. And he whiffed Iono and Briar for game because I had Tomb in place, so he couldn't use Luminion to guarantee game. So he just had to hope I had a Boss Bear, and I did have Boss Bear in hand. So I ended up winning that game. I think I went like Arm Press into Frenzy Gouging into... Or it was like Amp... It was either Amp, Gouge, Bear. It was one of that 3 like combo. And then the Tomb prevented him from being able to play Luminion, which ended up being good because he could have Iono'd me or Briared me, and I probably would have lost. Round 2 was against Iron Thorns. Another matchup that I think is like kind of good for this deck. You have Sableye Cram damage, which can be very effective against Thorns. The 2-shot. You have Roaring Moon EX, which can Calamity Storm off of Sableye or Cram. And if you have to, you can just nuke it with a Frenzy Gouging, right? So you have Frenzy Gouging as an option. I mean, they start Lone Thorns, you can do that. This game was decent. I did prize Bear and Roaring Moon, which was a little annoying. Though, like, my 2 best attackers were both prized. I did find Heavy Ball, and I decided to go with the Moon angle. I went like Calamity Storm after I spit Thorns, and then I gouged the second Thorns, and he didn't have Judge in hand, so I just had Night Stretcher Gate Super Rod to pull off the final Roaring Moon for the last knockout of the game. Round 3, I hit Lugia, which, I mean, yeah, Lugia's like, you know, fine enough matchup. I will say, not even the Raikou does feel bad against this deck. I mean, looking at my list here, let me just pull it up back on Twitter, I guess. Yeah, I don't have the Raikou in the deck, right? Which, Raikou, Tomb, Iron Hands makes Lugia a lot more winnable, but not by much. I think you can get away with just using, like, Amp and stuff in that matchup with, like, Blood Moon or Saluna. But yeah, he was unable to get a... Lugia down turn 1 or whatever. Like, he got a Lugia down turn 1, but he had to discard, like, a ton of energy and stuff. He opened Iron Hands. He had to discard a bunch of energy. He got, like, 1 Chops in the discard pile. And he ended up using a Pokestop to try to get the 3rd Chops, but he milled an Iono and 2 Mist Energy. So he just went Lone Archeops, which I still almost lost. He went Lone Archeops. I went Prime Catcher KO Archeops with Amp. So he went Amp Comfy Lone Archeops, and then I went Prime Catcher Amp KO Archeops, and then he went Boss Amp KO Greninja, and he had a Cinccino on the background that was getting powered up. So I went Blood Moon or Saluna, Knockout, and my win con was to go, because Iron Hands was still on the board, and I was at 3 prizes, he was at 2. So my win con was to go Tank Hit with Bear, and then Boss Amp the Squawkabilly or the Lugia V on his bench that he had for 3 prizes. That was my prize map. He Iono'd me, which was unfortunate because he milled the other Iono off the Pokestop the turn earlier. So he just had the other Iono in hand. He Iono'd me, and he Iono'd the boss away. So he Iono'd my hand away, which I had game. So I had to go Sableye. I didn't kill... So he had to exactly have Luminion energy for game. So he needed boss energy for game because he hit my Blood Moon for 120, and then I went Switch Card, heal it. And I went Sableye, and I didn't kill the Cinccino. I just, like, spread damage on his bench so that everything could get KO'd on the bench that was ampable. So I didn't take a prize. And then I had to basically just, like, buy time until I found the Gus. And then I ended up finding the Gus off the next Colress, knowing he was probably out of Iono. And then I just had to hope that he didn't draw into Energy Boss. And he thankfully did not have the energy to win the game. Pardon me. And then, yeah, I went Boss for game. And then... Round 4, I hit Bayonet. We were going to ID, but the cup was too small, so unfortunately we could only do... we couldn't ID, so we had to... One of us had to win this game to, like, almost guarantee top 8 or top 4, so I hit Bayonet, which is not a good matchup. Basically, I have to get turn 2 Mirage Gate or turn 1 Mirage Gate to even have a chance in this matchup, because I can't do anything inside Unlock. I do play Roaring Moon, which does help a little bit, but I whiffed turn 1 Greninja, which was really unfortunate. I priced 2 Mirage Gates, whiffed turn 1 Greninja. We just had a very long game where he just kind of trapped me in the active. I just got, like, destroyed. Like, I had no chance of winning this game after the first turn was over. It's a bad matchup. I basically have to donk him, or I have to get a bunch of energy on the board on my first turn. So I have to go, like, turn 2, 7 in Lost Zone, double Mirage Gate, power up a Roaring Moon, Greninja, maybe cripple his board a little bit. But other than that, I mean, the matchup's pretty bad. You can't do anything... Really, like, it's a bad matchup. Sableye is really good. If I can get turn 2 Sableye, it does make the matchup a lot better, because if he only gets 2 Shuppet, I can kill each Shuppet. I can basically just gatekeep him with Sableye the entire time and just farm all the Shuppets, which will allow me to win the game, basically, because I can set up, like, Moon in the background or something. So the Sableye is really good, but I wasn't able to get turn 2 Sableye either, because he Iono'd away a Colressable hand, and I maybe could have got turn 2 Sableye, but the Iono kind of stopped me, and then I just wasn't able to get turn 2 Gate or anything like that. So I lost. So I had to win my last one to make top 8, and thankfully I got down paired to my friend who was X and 2, couldn't make top 8, so he scooped me so I can get into top 8. It was against Palkia, which I got Manaphy. The matchup's fine. It's like, it's close if you don't, basically if you don't fill your board up, you gotta go like 3 Comfies, Manaphy, Greninja with like maybe Iron Hands in play. You just have to make sure you get Pokemon on your bench, right? The other thing I like about the Moon, by the way, is the Moon helps a lot against Palkia, because if they go Greninja EX against you, you usually don't have a way to respond to it. So they go like Greninja Iono. It's really tough. So what you can do to respond to that is you can just gouge the Greninja and knock it out. Just having a way to kill Greninja is really, really good. And then finally we got to top 4 where I hit Raging Bolt. So top 4 was Bolt, Miraidon, Charizard. Or no, the top 4 was Bayonet, Charizard, Raging Bolt, and Lost Box. So thankfully I dodged the Bayonet. The Bayonet hit the Charizard deck, which was really good for me. Then I ended up hitting Raging Bolt. Game 1, I went Sableye Attach Pass, going first, and then she just ran me over before I even had a chance. And then game 2, I opened Ursaluna. I'm like, oh no, not a 2-prizer, because I mean, you can go single prize board state until you start going 2-2-2. But I did open Ursaluna, which was kind of annoying, but I was able to get like a pretty good turn 1. I got like Poff and everything on the board, everything was chill. And then I just initiated the 2-prize trade. I don't think she ran Iono in the deck. So no, I think it was the Caleb Gettimer list, because I put Tomb down anticipating that there was a Lumineon in there, but I don't think there was an Iono. There was a Slitherwing, which kind of caught me off guard. I forgot Slitherwing can actually burn the opponent, so Slitherwing actually one-shots Blood Moon Ursaluna. I didn't realize that, because that was like a crucial turn where I'm like, oh, because I had to go Bear knockout. Maybe I could have went Moon instead of the Bear, because I got killed by Slitherwing, so I had to find Gust. I did have Gust in hand, because there's no Iono, but if there was like Iono Slitherwing, I maybe would have lost the game there. So kind of close. And then game 3, I had a pretty good turn 1 also, just kind of fill my board up. And then I went Spit, Raging Bolt. She whiffed attack. She had a Burst Roar. I go Spit. She goes Knockout Cram. I go Calamity Storm, knock out the Raging Bolt. She goes Ogre Pond, kill Roaring Moon, which is nice. The Roaring Moon is cool in this matchup because you force them to like have to go Bolt or Ogre Pond to respond to the Roaring Moon, which is good because they can't kill you with Slitherwing. So yeah, I go Roaring Moon, knockout, and then I was playing the game like there's no Iono basically. Because I had a couple opportunities where I could have maybe played around an Iono, but I didn't bother because I didn't think there was an Iono on the deck. But yeah, I went Bear, knockout, Ogre Pond, and then she couldn't respond, or she did go Slitherwing, and then I went Prime Catcher, Bear for game. I think that's how it went. Or I had the sequence in hand to win with Bear regardless. So I just basically went Moon, Bear, Bear, or Cram, Moon, Bear, Bear for game. And then finally made it to the finals where thankfully, like I said, the Bayonet was not able to make it because like it's a pretty bad matchup. Bayonet is almost unwinnable. Like it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's my worst matchup. So Charizard made it to the finals. It was the same person I played against round 1, my friend Simon. So really good finals that we had. Game 1 was a little back and forth. I went Arm Press KO Pidgeot, and then he went Knock Me Out, and then I think I went Frenzy Gouging, knock out the Charizard, and then he went Charizard hit me with like an Iono, and then I think I was able to snowball it into a Roaring Moon, but I accidentally did a really bad Colress where I lost on the Nest Ball when I had game and I needed to take the Nest Ball. I lost on it for some dumb reason. So thankfully he let me take it back because he's my boy. We're friends. So he was like, all right, you can take it back. I'm like, all right, thank you. Because I for some reason lost on Nest Ball when I literally had guaranteed game with the Nest Ball. I don't know why I put it in the lost zone. So we got the dub there. Game 2 is a little bit more different. I whiffed the turn 2 Ninja because he opened Radzard. And I whiffed turn 2 Greninja on his 2 Charmanders. So that sucked because I prized 2 of my water energy, right? So I whiffed the attack. So I was like, okay, we can maybe go Sableye next turn. But he had Turo on the Charizard. Promote. He went like Pidgeot, Retreat into Charmander, Evolve Charmeleon, Pass, Instant Charge, whatever. Couldn't get Tomb Down either, which was a problem. So he Instant Charged. So I think what I did was I went Arm Press, Knockout Pidgeot, Prime Catcher, Bench Roaring Moon, which I think was a mistake to bench the Moon. I basically benched the Moon in case he went like Unfair Stamp, Knockout Iron Hands. But my prizes were 3 energy, and I misplayed because what happened was he benched Dusclops, KO'd the Moon with Boss, and then Unfair Stamped me. But I had the ability to Boss because I was able to Flower Select into Boss. I could Boss, knock out the Dusclops with Ampy very much. I played a Mirage Gate and then realized I had no energy left in the deck because 3 energy were in the prizes, and I had no way to amp because I was going to go amp Dusclops. and then Moon for game, but I don't think I was going to do that anyways. I think I was going to lose regardless of that outcome. But yeah, I kind of misplayed, looked through my deck, and then I was like, okay, I can still win this. So I Arm Press KO the Dusclops, because I didn't want him to take like a 3-prize turn. I had no way to win if he did that. And then he went, so I had Sableye bench with a Psychic, but I had a Dark Energy on my Iron Hands, my other Darkest Prize. He went KO Sableye with Counter Catcher, and then my Iron Hands was stranded with 3 energy, and I just scooped, because I had no win con. He had 2 Charizards. His board was Charizard, Fish, Rotom, and I had no Gust left, no Palpat. I had no way to win the game, so I scooped. Now game, oh my god, this was a funny set. So the final match of the Cup was insane. So I ended up going, I went first, because I think you go first this deck, try to get like turn 2 Greninja, knowing he didn't play Manaphy, right? So I went first, and he went, so I did my thing. I Flower Select, Bench Tomb, Pass. I had a bad hand. He had to Iono me, but his turn was so bad, he had to go Mander, Pidgey, Pass. So I'm like, okay, all I have to do is literally Greninja for game. I looked through my deck with Buddy Poff, and I noticed everything's in there for Mirage Gate, all 3 Water Energy. I had Greninja in hand, Colress, Pokestop, Poffin. Like, I was cooking. Like, very good chances. And I ended up whiffing the turn 1 win. I had to go, I literally went Pokestop, Colress, Greninja, Quad, Comfy. I went Quad, Comfy, and I whiffed a Mirage Gate and a Water Energy to win the game on the first turn, which was insane, because I had it guaranteed, but I couldn't find a Mirage or a Water Energy to save my life. I did Quad, Comfy, man. I literally did the max digging you could do, and I whiffed it. We went to time, but he had nothing still. He went Rare Candy Pidgeot, or Rare Candy Charizard, retreating to Pidgey Pass, because I board locked myself. So I went Greninja, Knockout Pidgey, or Prime Catcher, KO the Pidgey, 90 on the Charizard, and then he just passed. He didn't kill my Greninja. So then I went Fade Out and Vacuum away the Pokestop, because he was basically relying on Pokestop to get him out. So I'm like, okay, you're not Pokestop. If you draw Lumineon or Rotom, you know, you're better than me. But he didn't. And then he basically KO'd the Greninja, and then I just had Frenzy Gouging for game, and I ended up winning the League Cup. Crazy final set, because I legit did the most thinning I could do. I went Stop, Colress, Quad, Comfy. That was a crazy set, and a lot of fun to play. I think the Roaring Moon ended up pulling its weight. I mean, it literally won me a lot of games. The Iron Hands, the Bear, every card pulled its weight. I think it's a really solid, like, 60. If you're looking to play a Lost Box deck, I think the 60 is pretty solid. There is, you know, potential for Raikou. I don't like playing too many 2-prizers in the deck, though, because, like, if I were to play, like, Raikou in the deck alongside this lineup of Pokemon, you just have a lower chance of starting Comfy. That's one thing you want to note with this deck. The least amount of, especially 2-prizers you play, the least amount of Pokemon you play in the deck, the more chance you're going to open Comfy. That's my logic. So if I had Raikou, let's say I cut a Vacuum for a Raikou in the deck to make my Lugia matchup better, then all of a sudden my odds of starting Comfy decrease by quite a bit. So that's why I like just keeping the lineup how it is. But I think there is potential for Raikou. But if you're going to play Raikou, you probably have to cut the Moon, because I don't think you can afford to just play that many 2-prizers. Not in this meta anyways. A lot of the time you have to rely on that 1-prize board state. You can start Sableye, Cram 2, Manaphy, no problem. It's just starting like a 2-prizer can feel bad. Unless it's Iron Hands. Depending on the matchup, you don't mind Iron Hands. You get energy on it, and then you can like turn 2 Amp with 1 Mirage Gate, which is a lot easier. It saves you Mirage Gates. But yeah, I really like the 60. I think it's a really solid 60. Night Stretcher's insane. I kind of want to play 2 of them, but every card did pull its weight. I don't think there's a single card I would cut from the list. That'll be it for me on today's League Cup report. Like I said, I got all 4 League Cups out of the way. So, but yeah, overall, like, really enjoyed the deck. Definitely recommend playing Lost Box if you want to play it. I don't know how good it is going forward. I mean, actually, Regidrago just won the Lille Regionals, so I don't think that Lost Box is going to be a great play for LAIC, but we'll have to see. If Drago isn't popular at LAIC, play Matchup Roulette, you might be chilling, but I don't know. We'll see how popular Drago is, because I legit just dodged Drago the entire tournament. There was like 2 in the tournament. But that'll be for me. Enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you're new to the channel. Subscribe down below. Help me. We're reaching 18,000 subs. Thank you all once again for all the support on the content. As always, check out the sponsors, TC Evolutions, and Card Cavern down below. Use code LDF. And yeah, hopefully later tomorrow, we get to look at all the decks in May Day 2 at the Lille Regionals. We'll have to see how that goes. And I'll catch y'all later. Bye-bye.